So, as we all know, it's been about 3 months since Tease has added a new character to Jujutsu Shenanigans. We also know that Mahito's moveset is almost complete. This begs the question, who will be added next to JJS? In this first section, I will be covering who I think is most likely to be added in the newest update for JJS. Most content creators have been saying the next character to be added is going to be Nobara. I also agree that she will be added because if you guys haven't heard, Nobara has made a return in the Jujutsu Kaisen manga. I won't spoil too much about the manga, but I really think Tease has seen this and he'll try to ride the hype of Nobara's return. Another thing that increases the likelihood of Nobara being added is the fact that she was in Jujutsu Shenanigans at one point in time. At the start of Jujutsu Shenanigans, she was in the game, but she actually got scrapped after the creation of Jujutsu Shenanigans. If you guys haven't seen footage of this or other people's videos of this, I'll put it up on screen right now. As you can see, she already had 4 moves already made for her character, but no one knows if Tease still has the files for Nobara's moveset. You can look at this as an example of what Nobara might look like if she was added to Jujutsu Shenanigans. There are many other reasons hinting at the fact that she will be added because she's a very simple character, and I think Tease likes to do simple characters. She'd also be very easy to balance, and her gameplay would actually be pretty fun and it would implement into JJS very well. Overall, I think Nobara has the highest likelihood of being added as the next character in Jujutsu Shenanigans. Now let's move on to some honorable mentions for characters to be added. Now, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to Tease's Discord server, but he posted something about Harem Era Sukuna. I really don't think that he will add Harem Era Sukuna, mainly because Sukuna is already in the game. Yes, it's not the same version, but I don't feel like he'd want to put 2 Sukunas in one game. I feel like Nobara or any other character is more likely than Sukuna, but some people are taking this as a sign. One character that I definitely think is more likely than Harem Era Sukuna is Yuta, and one of the main reasons is that Yuta finally got a domain expansion in the manga. And it's a pretty unique domain expansion because it allows you to copy other people's techniques. This would be very easy for Tease to implement because the files are already in the game for the other characters' moves. This would also be a pretty balanced and also awesome domain to have in the game because we've never seen his domain in any other JJK game. There was also some clips floating around of Tease working on a sword model for JJS. But this doesn't guarantee that it was going to be Yuta, and also he stated that this was just a test and he was just looking at other stuff he might be able to add to JJK in the future. So that does not guarantee that that's going to be the next character in the game. Now let's cover who's going to be least likely to be added into JJS. And just because I say least likely doesn't mean that they're not going to be added, it just means that they'll be added in a later update for Jujutsu Shenanigans. So here are my top 3 picks for characters that aren't Nobara or Yuta. As we seen earlier when I was covering Yuta, Tease was working on a sword character. One person that does wield a sword is Maki. We also haven't seen her added into other JJK games, so it would be one of the first times that Maki has been added into a Jujutsu Kaisen game. Her moveset would definitely be close to Toji's moveset, which we've seen in other JJK games, but this doesn't mean that it's going to be the same exact moveset because she is different. Also, she's a well-liked character, so I think that a lot of people will want this character in the game, and I think Tease might actually add her just because of her popularity. Now, this next character is one of my favorite characters of all time, and that is Choso. He has some of the most unique attacks compared to most characters in Jujutsu Kaisen. I mean, just look at this. If Choso was added to the game, he would definitely be more of a ranged character, but he still does have some defensive utilities and also he can still throw hands. One thing that does suck about Choso is that he doesn't have a domain expansion just like Nobara and Maki. I don't think this will lower the likelihood of him being added though because we already have Megami who doesn't have a domain expansion. I still do think that he's cool enough to be added in a future update for JJS. Now let's move on to why I think Higuruma has the highest chances of being an upcoming character in JJS. Higuruma is one of the most interesting characters because of his domain expansion. If you don't know, his domain expansion is basically a court. In this domain, you have to defend yourself with evidence. If you successfully defend yourself, you are free. But if you fail, there are 3 scenarios that can occur. This includes getting your curse technique confiscated, your weapon taken, or the death sentence, which makes it so that he has a sword that one-shots you. In my opinion, I think he'd be a fun character to play, and he'd also have some cool gimmicks that you can use against your opponents. He does probably have a high likelihood of being added because he is a popular character and he's also been suggested to JJS multiple times. But anyway, comment below who your favorite character is or who you think is most likely to be added to JJS. Also, if we can hit 500 likes on this video, that would be very appreciated.